what is inner line permit. पहले ना, let's understand it in very layman language. There are some regions of the country. Let's say पूरा India है. There are some regions of the country where an Indian citizen from other part of the country. There are Indian citizens who are living here. यहाँ पे भी Indian citizens रह रहे हैं. Everywhere in India, we have Indian citizens. Now, what is ILP? ILP is for these parts where ILP is applicable. If an Indian citizen from some other part of the country wants to visit this place, they should get a permission. That permission is inner line permit, ILP. In very layman language, the places which come under inner line permit regime, if you want to visit that place, जैसे right now Arunachal Pradesh. If I want to visit Arunachal Pradesh today, even as a tourist, I'm not a person living in Arunachal Pradesh, I'm living somewhere outside Arunachal Pradesh, I'm an Indian citizen. For Indian citizen to visit Arunachal Pradesh, they will need what? They will need a ILP, they will need a inner line permit. Same is the case with Nagaland and Manipur. In fact, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram. These are 4 states where if you want to visit, you will need this permission, that is ILP. And this permission is needed by whom? Indian citizens. जो foreigners हैं, they need some other permissions. They will also need permissions. There is PAP, there is RAP, protected area permit, restricted area permit, that is applicable for foreigners or for NRIs also. Even NRIs cannot go here with ILP. ILP is for what? Indian citizens. NRIs can, some of the NRIs are still Indian citizens, but even they will need what? They will need protected area permit or restricted area permit. So what is ILP? Did we understand? We'll go to the background and we'll understand the reasons behind it. So ILP is an official travel document issued by some state in India to allow inward travel of Indian citizens into the protected areas for limited period. It is obligatory for Indian citizens from outside these states to obtain permit for entering the protected area. Every NRI, OCI card holder, even NRI or OCI card holders are not eligible for ILP. ILP is for Indian citizens who are residing in India. अगर आप Indian citizen हो बाहर चले गए, ILP is not applicable for you. They have to apply for regular protected PAP or RAP, protected area permit or restricted area permit. समझ में आया? What is ILP? Did we understand? We'll understand the reason behind it, the beginning of it, why it started and all. We will talk about it. But first, what is ILP? Second, ILPs can be of different type. There can be ILP for tourism. There can be ILP for people who want to stay in these states for long term. जैसे अरुणाचल प्रदेश में, I may want to go and live there for long period and start an institution there. So I cannot take tourism temporary period wala ILP. I will need a long term. So ILP can be of different types based on the activities that you want to participate in. Now, the concept of ILP began with Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation 1873. It was this regulation which first brought in the concept of ILP. Bengal Eastern Frontier, you can understand they're talking about Northeast India. इसमें Britishers restricted the entry and stay of outsiders in these designated areas. Bengal के Eastern Frontiers में outsiders will go, if they'll go, they will go by ILP. They'll go after taking ILP, not before that. So there was regulation and restriction of citizens from rest of the country to enter those places. Why was that done? For protecting tribal interest. This is what Britishers say. But that was the show करने के लिए argument. Real reason was they wanted to protect the commercial interest of Britishers. If citizens from rest of the country would go there, they will also do business there, they will extract resources from there. The Britishers will not be able to have complete control over the resources and extraction of resources there, and this was the primary reason. बंगाल ईस्टर्न फ्रंटियर रेगुलेशन 1873। समझ में आया ये? अब देखो न्यूज में बस छोटी सी चीजें, ये डिमांड कर रहा है, ये डिमांड कर रहा है, बट हमें समझना है सिलेबस में कहां आएगा और कैसे पढ़ना है। हम फंडामेंटल राइट्स में एक एरिया में जाएंगे जहां पे सिटीजंस हैव बीन गिवन द राइट टू मूव फ्रीली थ्रू आउट द कंट्री। नाउ ILP is kind of imposing restriction there, right? इसलिए while studying fundamental rights, current affairs related to fundamental rights, we are studying it. Now, in 1950, the regulation was amended, and British subject, the term British subject was replaced by citizen of India. पहले क्या चाहिए था? पहले under Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation, if you are a British subject, in order to go into these areas, you needed what? ILP. Now we have amended that law. So if you are an Indian citizen, in order to go to these areas, you need inner line permit. Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, and Mizoram. Tripura and Meghalaya are also demanding it. मिल नहीं रहा है, but they are demanding it. न्यूज में भी हमने भी यही देखा था. One of the MLAs of Tripura has written to Home Minister to bring Tripura under ILP regime. ऐसे ही मेघालय में in the past the Meghalaya Assembly has passed a resolution. अभी in June when the tragedy occurred, the क्या हनीमून हॉरर ना, मैंने भी ये न्यूज, ये जब आर्टिकल पढ़ा तभी था हनीमून हॉरर. उसके बाद दे फाउंड अदर रीजन कि वी शुड बी एबल टू रेगुलेट. ऐसे ना वी पीपल आर सच इडियट्स, लाइक वी स्टार्ट स्टीरियोटाइपिंग एवरीवन. कुछ भी रीजन होता है, वो मेघालय में डेथ हो गई, उसकी पता नहीं था इनिशियली हाउ द पर्सन डाइड, तो मेघालय के लोग ऐसे हैं, मेघालय में प्रोटेक्शन नहीं है, मेघालय में सेफ्टी नहीं है. ऑल दोस थिंग्स वर गोइंग ऑन in the media, in social media for 2-3 days. जो 2-3 days बाद रियल रीजन का पता लगा, तब तक आप उनको डेमोनाइज कर चुके थे. तो they were like, we want to regulate who are coming. तो इवन मेघालय में what do we want? We want ILP. What is the purpose of ILP today? ब्रिटिशर्स का पर्पस तो हमें समझ में आया. Why ILP today? तो protecting culture of indigenous people. If you allow unlimited movement of people there, it may impact their way of life. Second, it prevents demographic change. You're regulating who is entering, who is leaving. In that way, you do not allow a lot of change in the way of life of the people there. You do not allow a lot of change in the demography altogether. Population will also be, indigenous local population will remain in majority. Then reduce the scope of land alienation. If you cannot move in there, chance of buying land and all those things would be much lesser. And administrative oversight, जैसे मेघालय ने बोला, we want to oversee who are the people who are coming in. These are some of the purpose which ILP serves today. Currently, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Mizoram and Manipur में December 2019 में it was introduced. Ongoing demands कहाँ से? मेघालय से, त्रिपुरा से है. Why ILP is demanded in these states? Again, वही demographic pressure वाला argument है. Apprehension of losing autonomy, illegal migration को prevent करना, vulnerable groups को protect करना. When a lot of people from outside go in there, vulnerable groups also get affected. And protection of environment is another key factor. When a lot of tourists visit some places, some forest, that may also have negative impact on this thing, on the environment. Now, ILP was challenged in the Supreme Court. कि यार, this is violating fundamental rights. Right to equality होना चाहिए ना. I'm a citizen of India. अब just Arunachal Pradesh का any resident of Arunachal Pradesh can come to any part of the country without any restriction. But a resident of Delhi who is also citizen of India, उसके लिए आपने special provision डाल दिया अरुणाचल प्रदेश जाने के लिए, तो it's violating right to equality. It's violating Article 19, which allows me to move freely throughout the country to do business wherever I want. Right, on these grounds, it was challenged in the Supreme Court. Supreme Court dismissed the challenge. Supreme Court in December 2019 has also dismissed a plea challenging the constitutionality of ILP system. Supreme Court understood that there is reason why special protection may be needed in some of these reasons. So, what are some of the criticisms which are made against ILP? Why it is violating fundamental rights? 14, 15, 19 and even 21. But वो Supreme Court has said that it's not violating fundamental right. वो special circumstances के लिए special conditions can be imposed. First, but second argument, more isolation and insulation. As in these states, more interaction between different groups take place, what would happen? We will understand the way of life of people in these states more. They will understand the way of life in people in rest of the country more. But with these kind of restriction, there is more alienation, there is more insulation, and there is also a kind of difference we create among citizens of India, which may not be a good thing. Another criticism that is made is migration provides many services, especially in northeastern states. Migration may provide, because of migration, a lot of teachers may be available, a lot of doctors may be available, a lot of other engineers may be available, which the state may not be able to produce itself. Those advantages are gone. अभी जैसे महाराष्ट्र में प्रोटेस्ट होता है, या मुंबई में some politicians try to mobilize people on the ground of Marathi language. But if there are if the non-Marathi people are all removed from Mumbai, they're providing lots of services in Mumbai. They're running businesses, they're working in various institutions. Mumbai is Mumbai because of a lot of, any city is successful because of a lot of migration. आप अभी दिल्ली से सारे माइग्रेंट्स को हटा दो, मेरे को भी जाना पड़ेगा, यहां से आपको भी जाना पड़ेगा. अभी फॉर दिस फ्लोर वी एंड अप पेइंग 2 crore rupees इन ईयर रेंट है इस फ्लोर का. कौन देगा? द ओनर इज अर्निंग दैट मच, उस पे जीएसटी जा रहा है. आपने जितनी फीस भरी है उसका 18% has gone to government, 9% to state, in state GST, 9% to central GST. Who is providing for all this? Migrants are providing for all this. You're able to hire a very affordable cook, वो 2000 रुपए में आके खाना बना दे रहा है. The generally migrants, many of the doctors in these hospitals, चाहे एम्स चले जाओ, चाहे बेल के चले जाओ, चाहे कहीं और चले जाओ, it's migrants. So migrants do provide a lot of services. Then it also negatively hampers tourism. If I have to go to, let's say, Arunachal Pradesh, अरे पहले जाके permission लेना पड़े, पहले ILP लेना पड़ेगा, it imposes restriction. Like tomorrow I have an option of going to, let's say, Himachal Pradesh or Uttarakhand, or going to Arunachal Pradesh. Himachal Pradesh मैंने बैग उठाया और मैं चल दिया. जैसे I remember 2023 में, I think 23rd या 24th को लास्ट मेंस एग्जाम था. मैं उस दिन तक कहीं नहीं गया, क्योंकि एग्जाम से जस्ट पहले बच्चा कॉल करके पैनिक में बात करता है. 25th को आई पिक्ड अप माय बैग, मैंने ऑनलाइन कुछ ट्रैक बुक किया, मैं चला गया. कश्मीर ग्रेट लेक्स ट्रैक था, मैं चला गया वहां पे. इट वॉज पॉसिबल फॉर मी टू गो देयर. आई कुड नॉट हैव डन दैट फॉर अरुणाचल प्रदेश. मैंने देख क्या कहां पे परमिशन लेना पड़ेगा, मुझे कुछ स्पेशल कंडीशंस चाहिए होती. फॉर Indian citizens, वो conditions may not be that good, so it hampers tourism negatively, and then it perpetuates discrimination against people from other parts of the country. So there are some issues, but in spite of all that, Supreme Court's dismissal of the plea challenging ILP in some parts of the country indicates that several regions of the country still need special protection to their culture, economy, and way of life. We are not saying कि ILP हट जाना चाहिए. We're saying that in spite of all these, there are some criticisms, but in spite of all these things, Supreme Court has upheld ILP. It indicates what? Some regions of the country may still need special protection. And that's okay. Fine. बात समझ में आई? If a question on ILP comes, will we be able to answer that? Question can be simple, prelims में भी कि ILP अभी कहाँ applicable है. Question can be on the origin of ILP. Question can be on those dimensions also. Question can be for the mains examination also.